disorientation, routine, intensity, fear, blinded by the lights, sound, darkness, Demdike stare, the unknown, shackled searching for the hidden, sub-bass, the difference between hearing and understanding, Poshtushka Shvietkova, the uncanny, strange dreams, fear, emeralds, transcendence, slipping into darkness, wild birds and peace drums, lights, actress, confusing dreams, laminated pass around your neck, Oni Ihun, rumble, unsound, one o tricks point never, terror, queasiness, goblin, horror, Novahuta, Ben Frost, dreams stay with you, space, time.
My third time in Krakow. Once again, here for the Unsound Festival. Traveling to festivals is part of my job. I write about music. Black metal, techno, dubstep, house, chamber music. Unsound isn't just any festival. This year's theme is special. Horror. The pleasure of fear and unease. Concerts to make your skin crawl. Installations to scare you senseless. Lectures, round table discussions, late nights, drinking, dancing, new artists, new sounds, new feelings, old friends, expectation, discovery. There's something strange in the air here. I've felt it every time I've come. The endless weight of history. Nazi occupations. The Jewish Holocaust. Years of communist oppression. The Catholic Church and its morbid iconography. Tram? Dziękuję. Go back to the city's founding myth and you'll find a cave, a fire-breathing dragon, virgin sacrifice. There are ghosts everywhere. My dreams here are always strange, vivid, surreal. Where do they come from? I'm not sure I want to know. Fabrica. wind, music, atmosphere, the dead. Demdike Stare, Sean Canty, Miles Whitaker.
There's too much light music around because obviously it's more palatable to a lot of people. But I think people underestimate drama and tension, especially music, because a lot of music, like maybe deep techno, for want of a better description, is a very atmospheric kind of music, and I think we just taking it a step further really, and we're shown with the film thing and playing with some of the kind of horror soundtracks. It just makes you realise how much of an impact it can have, when you have that darkness. And when we, like, the most famous sort of situation about our hometown is the Pendle Witches. That's what the tourists will turn up for, because there is nothing else there but Pendle Hill and the kind of witch history. So I think it's lucky if you can embrace something in a hometown which doesn't necessarily give you anything else. That's kind of overlooked and doesn't even come into the music side at all with a lot of people. So it's kind of a boon for us really, and I'm really obsessed with getting darker and darker with music, because it's like any art. If it creates a reaction, whether it's good or bad, then it's done its job.
But in England, there does seem to be this connection to the land, and in a lot of musicians, I think this seems to be part of the sort of hauntological angle. I know that Simon Reynolds has written a bit about this, of these occult kind of magical ideas and the way they're expressed through, say, technology and through dub, and this idea of kind of the ghost in the machine, and then also through this sense of place, like in Pendle, the Pendle Hill or whatever.
Probably the same thing can be said for voodoo as well, which will probably creep into West Indian music anyway, regardless, and just that moments of unease in music are the kind of the things that I remember now, more than a moment of light, which is like feel good factor really, and that's been taken to an extreme with club music where a lot of people are just writing music for drugs, which for like ecstasy or whatever, which is like the lighter bass side of music, and that seems to be always the most popular. They're the big records, that kind of thing, but it's not music done for the sake of it, because the main reason for writing the Dem Dark material is music we want to listen to. It's a very selfish project in a way, but it's just lucky that somebody wanted to release it. That's kind of the thing. It wouldn't stop us from doing it in, even if we'd never put a record out. It's one of those things, and it's just a really good territory to explore, because it is kind of unexplored. But then the more we learn about old music which comes from that kind of background, the more you learn that there are a lot of people out there who've experimented and created quite a lot of music in the same vein. So you almost feel like you're part of a history going back as well. But especially like you say, in England we have things like the Druids, it's thousands years ago, that kind of thing. So there is, there's a lot of that like history in England. Literally a mile from where I live, I can go up to find old Roman fort remains and stone circles which have been left over, that kind of thing. So it's hugely inspiring, especially when you start exploring the kind of dark side.
vibration, abstraction, intensity, transcendence, vision, mutation, mordant music. Faces, estrangement, getting lost, searching for the hidden. True horror goes beyond fear. It's closer to the sublime, too awful to be conceived, too terrible to be reckoned with. Not pyrotechnics and heavy metal theatrics, not scary masks and pentagrams. Real horror is suffering, violence, and stupidity. War, displacement, hunger, murder. Silent suffering, isolation, emptiness. No music, no art, no names, no faces. Just emptiness and destruction. All animals feel fear. Only humans can derive pleasure from it, if only by turning it into something else. Film, painting, music, laughter. Can you have true horror in music? Or is Unsound really about something else? Call it darkness, or intensity, or the uncanny. Call it a force beyond your perception. Prang.
It's weird because I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I never consciously chose to do it that dark. When I was 16, I was buying records from. As long as I go back, it's always been this. It's a color. Dark is a color. It's always been this color. And a lot later on, it just made sense that okay, this is what I like. This is this dark stuff. Everyone has this dark side, and you have to face it, and you have to confront it, and you have to accept it from yourself that you have this dark side, and it'll make you a better human being. I'm convinced of that.
I find Krakow gives me really strange and fucked up dreams. Like every time I'm here, I just end up. I don't know where they come from. I even wrote them down, and yeah, like my things with my father who passed away a few years ago, and like not like bad necessarily, not nightmares exactly, just really
Weird.
uncanny, you know, and surreal. Ritual.
sound, hypnosis, immersion. Oniyaihun. Letting go. The music going through you. Celebration. Bliss. Solaris.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Let's just do the first two variations in the very beginning.
Ben Frost.
I think in a weird way I'm making music that is somehow really making a distinct effort to connect with a sort of a pre-cognitive sort of intelligence, in that I think when we're very small, when we're 1 or 2 years old, the difference between the sound of your mother's voice and the sound of a bird in the trees, or the sound of a cat purring or something, there's very little distinction between those things, and you don't attach any more meaning to one than the other, because they are all they all carry the same importance, I suppose. But it's a pretty traumatic experience, I think, that children go through at some point during those formative years, where you start to realize, and it's kind of tragic and sad, that at some point you have this realization that the dog doesn't understand you the way your father does, and that they're not aware that they're not conscious of themselves,
right,
in the way that you are. And I think that it's a fundamentally traumatic experience, probably, but somehow that experience is quickly kind of forgotten, because all of the bright lights and shiny things that come with being a sentient, intelligent, self-aware being, and fucking television, all of those things quickly sort of help us forget. But I think that anything we sort of perceive as dark is really just, our sort of bestial selves remembering, that those things carried meaning once,
I think I'm increasingly, maybe I'm just getting older and turning cranky, but I'm increasingly disturbed by sort of the narcissism of our culture, and I think looking into that is one very useful way of reminding us that we don't mean shit.
Perhaps I like to be a bit more, I'd like to be an optimist about it, and think that perhaps in time we're going to go too far and recognize that we're losing something that's actually far more important. Like, there seems to be a great race to make ourselves as far removed from our sort of monkey beginnings as possible. And I think I would like to think that at some point we're going to realize that the cost of that is far too great, and that we're just a tiny, sort of a very small aspect of what makes this place remarkable.
Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if music has something in common with dreaming. Something precognitive, immediate, visceral, womb-like. At its most suggestive, music is a transmission from another place, more abstract than dreams, a soft symbolism with no fixed referent. A communique from the dead. Bending time, blurring space, erasing the self. An out-of-body experience. A language older than language, with the power to summon spirits. There's something in this music that's trying to get out, trying to cross over. Something ineffable, inexpressible, unbidden. Behind that, sound, guiding us in the dark when our eyes fail us, tuning our ears to a different frequency, honing in on the background hum, essential, elemental. Bird song, the wind in the trees, footsteps on soft earth, finding patterns in the white noise. Unsound. Dreams. Horizon. Whispers.